Hi, welcome to this episode of Being Me. I'm your host, Carolyne Gaithuma. I'm so excited that you've been watching us, sharing, liking, and commenting. And today we are talking about play therapy. This show, as I've been telling you, is about really learning all the healing and wellness modalities available in Kenya for the emotional and mental well-being. So welcome today, and I'm here with Ekta Bid, a play therapist. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm well, and how are you?
I'm good. So good to have you here. I mean, it's so exciting to know that there's something called play therapy. Most of the times we don't consider emotional and mental well-being of our children in a way that is proactive. So tell us a little bit about what you do, how long you've been doing this, and what is this play therapy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am a play therapist
Yeah.
and an EQ, emotional intelligence assessor. Play therapy, officially defined, is a form of counseling or psychotherapy in which play is used as a means of helping children communicate, express their feelings through the use of play, a language they understand. And it can be non-directive or directive. So you could direct the child to help them with something they has struggling with, or you could just let them play and see what happens. So I've been doing this for, let's say, 6 months. And the EQ, emotional intelligence assessor, as well with adults and children too, because I believe everything is interlinked.
Yes.
For many people don't realize that for you to know what makes you feel happy, you need to have experienced what makes you sad. So there's no bad feeling.
Yeah.
Everything is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what basically you help the children to, because I think the way we've been relating with what we call negative emotion is almost like we are splitting ourselves, and we don't want to be that. So is play therapy helping the child integrate that as part of their normal experience?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because then you self-doubt. When you say, like, the negative emotions you're talking about, you end up self-doubting, you end up putting yourself down, questioning yourself, and then in the end these kids are our future. And play therapy is from the age of 0 to 13, but I believe play can help everyone.
Yeah, I've been wondering, like, why can't we have play therapy as adults? Because I think play is a lot of creativity and just good vibes. And that's what we need, especially right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Yeah.
And soon I'm starting my synergetic play therapy certification. So from play therapy, I've decided I want to specialize in synergetic play therapy, which is a relatively new form of play therapy. Developed in 2008, and it's research-informed model which blends the therapeutic power of play with the nervous system. So you're looking at it as a wholesome person and aspect.
Yeah.
Regulation, interpersonal neurobiology, physics, attachment, mindfulness, and true authenticity of the therapist.
Yeah.
Is the therapist willing and able to be themselves, be who they are, without having to worry about what society feels, or knowing how, and teaching a child as a result to be true, attached to themselves, attuned with themselves, and listening to their mind, heart, and gut. Because more than anything, I find sometimes the gut and the heart give you a stronger message which we don't choose to listen to.
Yeah.
We're always in the mind, yet we're not going within our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And now that you're talking about our 3 brains and how that is important, Being Me is a show about being proactive about mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And right now we're talking about children with play therapy, but also adults. So how do you see our emotional well-being connected with play? You know, how much of, what's the connection between play and our emotional and mental well-being?
Play is soothing. Play can be how you want it to be. There's no direct definition that you must only play with a ball. You must only do this way.
Yeah.
Play is directed by you, guided by you. So that way you find a way to use play, and the only way you can do that is by knowing who you are.
Yeah.
So trial and error, like I would say with my children, I spent a whole holiday trying to help them realize what is there to go to. One son likes sand. Sand is soothing to anyone. It takes you in.
Yeah.
Putting your feet in sand, you just find yourself go,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
Helps with his emotional flooding. Playing with sand, you always realize that when a child or an adult, try it if you've got, whenever you're next near sand, you're holding up a funnel or trying to pour the sand. Wherever you start, you'll find the tension is from there. And then sooner or later, the more and more you play with it or just do it, regulate yourself through it, understand, you reduce the emotional flooding, so everything goes down the funnels. You want a free flow, and you'll find within time they do that.
Yeah.
Another child has a ball, throwing a ball around whenever he's angry, has done something, or someone's done something to upset him. Throwing a ball around, half an hour later he can come back and say, this is what happened.
Yeah.
It's within us as parents or us as therapists to help children find their to go, especially with all that's happening around today.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Humans are social people. They're not meant to be locked up in houses.
Yeah. And that's what's happening right now, especially kids. And kids don't have, I don't think they have, their brain have developed to that extent of really understanding rationally what's happening, but they are encountering all the effects of what's happening now without a rational explanation.
Are we understanding what's happening fully?
Yeah, we are not.
We are not. And
Yeah.
right now we are all experiencing the 4 threats to our brains in one go. Be it the unknown, because no one knows what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
Incongruence in the environment, like one day one thing is said, the next day something else is being said. Every day is totally different. So there's that. And then we end up shooting ourselves. That's another one, like, I should have done this. Or me telling you, Carol, you should have done this. And then, you end up self-doubting.
Yeah.
And physical and emotional safety, which is what we're talking about as well.
Yeah.
Emotional safety is so crucial. And sadly, we are all experiencing that right now at present.
Yeah. Definitely.
And this is so important for us to find out how we can earth ourselves, keep ourselves calm,
Yeah.
ground ourselves, and be in tune with ourselves. So you might, it's just through regulation, helping,
Yeah.
play, talking to the child, expressing your feelings. Oh, I'm feeling shivers now as you're playing.
What about, I've seen with myself, I'm a parent. Sometimes I want things in order,
Yeah.
I want clean clothes throughout the day because the laundry gives me a headache. So I'm sort of like inhibiting ways in which my child can play. What effect does that have on their emotional and mental well-being?
You're pushing your agenda on the child.
Yeah.
That's what we all parents do, as somehow or the other. We want it our way. I very much used to tell my children and things before I started this journey of mine.
Yeah.
You should do it like this, you should do it like that. That's shoulding. But it's to find a way, let's say, as you say, you don't like the laundry.
Yeah.
Delegate.
Or buy clothes that, I just
Push
in
them
the
in or
water
delegate.
and-
Delegate.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we try to do everything that we feel we should be doing, yet we aren't willing to say that, hey, I don't like doing this, in fear of stigma.
Yeah.
What will society think?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Society
That's a big one.
society is a norm set by someone.
Yeah.
What is normal?
Yeah. There's no normal.
There's no normal. What
Yeah.
is normal is been said. Someone has said that, okay, we should do this in this manner because it's normal.
Yeah.
It's someone who said it. But if you question, that's where the true authenticity and comes in.
Yeah. And I find that kids, when they are allowed to be, which a lot of the time includes play, because kids, that's what they're doing, like 90% of their day is playing. If they are allowed to do it and they're engaged while doing it, I find them becoming very confident and they learn a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why they play, because they're exploring, you know.
They're exploring, be it within the house, be it outside, and gratefully and thankfully in Kenya we have space.
Yeah.
That they're willing to explore. They can find a slug here, they can do this, and they learn about it without it. But right now I know in the West or East, around the world, other children are really struggling
Yeah.
with mental health because they're enclosed and they do not have the opportunity to play
Yeah.
or release their energy and frustrations. Play helps you earth yourself.
So it's not just kids. I mean,
Adults,
we need to earth ourselves.
yeah, adults, we need to earth ourselves, and with
Yeah.
play can be any form. You could be like, okay, I'm going for a walk this evening. Me time,
Yeah.
self-care. And then like how, I'm going to go back to example of the laundry, sorry.
Yeah.
How you see, then you end up stressing yourself out
Yeah.
and not being in tune with yourself. "Ah, I have to do this because of this."
Yeah. And I think it's also, you mentioned something about perception, because I feel like I have a 9-year-old and every task you give him, it turns out to be a game. And he ends up just doing everything, either dancing or singing, whether you've told him, you know, clean up your toys, or you've told him wipe the table, everything, he just finds a way to make it a game or play.
That's
know?
his way. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we as parents perceive it should be done in this manner, in a specific manner, what we were taught or what we believe is right.
Yeah.
Yet he's gone ahead and done it as a game and made it fun.
Yeah. And I think I've learned a lot from that, because I find that if I am easy with, you know, like the laundry, then it becomes easier for me, and I get, you know, I get it done quicker and I end up happier and not as stressed. So there's something I wanted to find out. There must be some principles or underlying basics that play therapy is built on, because for something to be a therapy, there must be some structure that creates it to be like that and makes it work in the way that it does. What are some of the things that we can say before we go on a break?
It depends on the child. The structure and the history is there. It's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
But we've, as synergetic play therapy, we've got some trends that we follow and look into,
Yeah.
which we try and help the child. The therapist has to help support, I'm just going to use this as to remember all of them, support the child in changing his perceptions or perceived challenges. The events that have happened throughout their life. Like the child may feel, I've done X, Y, Z wrong, it's all my fault, when actually it's not. It's his or her perception that this is all my fault. But helping them realize, no.
Yeah.
And through play you can do it by helping them regulate.
Yeah.
Attunement, being on the same page, like you're attuned and into your body. in a session, if the child follows you, follows your rhythm, picks up your nervous system and energy. If you find your mind drifting a bit, let's say you're playing with knives and all, you killed. Aggression and death is part of play.
Yeah.
And then you spend 20 minutes on a session asleep and your mind wanders. The child will realize that they've left the session. They're not with them anymore. Self-regulation. And we can talk about after the break some options of how to regulate.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Reflective awareness. Like just being aware and reflecting, saying that, hi, you've done it. It's not about the actual play. It's the process of the play. It's not about the drawing they've done in the end. It's the manner in which they got to that.
Yeah.
And as much as we say all the toys and everything,
Yeah.
the therapist is the most important. SPT believes the therapist is the most important tool in the playroom.
Wow.
Because it's all about you regulating, you being attuned to yourself, you being authentic, which helps the child get to this process.
Yeah.
And then the child's symptoms are understood as symptoms of dysregulation states of the various regulation states of the nervous system. So is he dysregulated or her? Why? What has happened? What is the regulation state? So helping them understand the body.
Yeah.
And what triggers them to dysregulate and how can they get back into regulation?
Yeah.
Authentic self, your true self.
Yeah.
You have to be there and teaching them how to do that and attach to themselves. Today, we have to work on ourselves for us to help others.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, we mirror each other.
We
really.
mirror each other, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the child, when you enter, as I said, I'll talk about even how a therapy session works. When you enter the therapy room, the child projects their inner world through play and sets you up
Yeah.
to feel what they're feeling.
What they're feeling. Wow. So if you have unresolved stuff,
Yeah.
you're going to feel all of it. Wow. Let's go on a break.
Yes, yes.
And regulate ourselves. Guys, thank you for keeping it here. You're watching Being Me, and today we are talking about play therapy. We want to go on a break, and when we come back, Ekta will tell us about what exactly happens in a session and so much more. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this episode of Being Me. I'm your host Carolyne Gaithuma, and today we are talking about play therapy, and with us is Ekta. And before we went on a break, you mentioned something about regulation, self-regulation, and we are shooting this at a time where we're smack in the middle of a pandemic, and children are at home. They haven't been at school for a long time. Parents are stressed. Children can sense this stress. How can play therapy come in?
So right now is a hard time,
Yeah.
especially for children and adults as well. As I explained, the 4 threats are all being experienced in one go. To recap on them, the unknown, incongruence in the environment, physical, emotional safety,
Yeah.
and shooting ourselves. Parents need to find a way, or caregivers, how to regulate. We are hearing many members of staff, let's say household staff, are asked to stay in yet not leave, not see their families,
Yeah.
in fear of catching COVID and bringing it back. People are losing their jobs. The unknown is simply there.
Yeah.
They have to find a way to help themselves accept what they're feeling. And then how to regulate. Sometimes it's moving about, swaying about, drinking water, having some water with you through a session, or just always just keeping yourself hydrated.
Yeah.
If you find it gets too much, I always find that splashing water on my face, chin up, helps.
Like that.
Yeah, when you're going for a shower, spend a few minutes in cold water, you then realize, hey, I'm back in my body. It's what does it for you, tapping, feeling your body, feeling your arms, your neck.
Yeah.
Just like that, finding your to go to when you're feeling really stressed. I find for me personally, if I'm getting into a really anxious state,
Yeah.
I need a nap.
Like a reset.
Reset, revive.
Yeah.
If I've not slept well the night before due to different reasons, until I have a nap, or just a 10-minute, it's just to close my eyes. I'm still awake listening to what's around.
Yeah.
I can't function.
So it's basically we need to be proactive.
Proactive and
Yeah.
find who we are.
Yeah.
What is our to go to? That we can only do is when I can say, hi, I am Ekta. Who's Ekta? Ekta is an XYZ's mum, XYZ's wife. I am me. Who's me? And everyone should be able to have that within themselves, knowing what they like, don't like,
Yeah.
what triggers them, what doesn't trigger them, and who they are. And once we've worked on us, we can help our children, because if our children see us regulating
Yeah.
through this worry, oh no, schools are not open, anxious, being proactive, as you're saying,
Yeah.
they pick on our nervous system. But on this, I find that whenever some sort of reality hits, kids have been with their parents for so long.
Yeah.
And in the past, they're not used to that. And then when the separation starts again,
Yeah.
it's going to be really hard on them. Some kids going back to school. You know, we always say, get off technology. Don't use your phone, put your phone down, stop using the iPad, stop doing this.
Yeah.
And right now it's only about technology.
Yeah. School is on the tablet.
Yeah. Are we going to be able to interact with humans?
Wow.
Or are we going to be more attached to our phones and that, and like be like, hi Carol, I'm here, I'm going to just do this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad. So play therapy right now is so crucial, because it can work for anyone and everyone, even the less fortunate.
Yeah.
And sometimes you find the less fortunate kids are the ones with the biggest smiles.
Yes. Yeah. It's true.
And the happiest of them all. And it's so important in the manner that they're experiencing different things as well. We can't forget them. And that comes in as I'm hoping to do a recording as well for a few charities, and hope they can pass it on to the people they're supporting.
Yeah.
How to find it, what's your go-to. Communication is crucial as well. If a child is being abused and the physical safety is harmed, they should not shy away. And many school was a go-to for safety.
Yeah.
Due to home, the next meal.
Yeah. And even physical abuse.
Yeah.
You know, and emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned something very, very important that I feel that most parents need to be really like underline that and bold it and italize it, that your child picks up on your nervous system. Because a lot of the times we tell kids, we tell them, but they know that that's not where we are at. And so when they're responding in a way that is mirroring us, we don't like it. Yet they're just continuing like the vibe that we are on.
Yes, because we're not in tune with ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're saying it in anger. Pick up the dishes today, do this, wash the dishes.
Yeah.
They're ignoring you because of your tone of voice, and you've not done it well. And you're anxious, you're like, no, everything will be okay. don't worry about it. Yet your heart is racing, you're anxious.
Yeah.
Check your pulse, feel your chest. It's just going.
Yeah.
They mirror it, they understand it.
Exactly. Or sometimes they actually respond in anger, and then you're like, why are you throwing
You're getting
a tantrum?
angry at them, yeah.
And they were just actually expressing what you ought to have expressed yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes I believe children get angry, they retaliate, everything is because they've not found the right words or the right manner to express themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, or sometimes it's about, like you mentioned something about self-regulation that's also very important, that I as Carol, am a very unique being, and I have my own unique ways that I can use to calm me down, to make me feel better. Sometimes when that child is rolling on the floor in the supermarket, it's their way of trying to regulate what they're feeling inside. Sometimes when they are hitting at something, that's their way. So I feel like most of us parents don't understand things from that perspective.
Yeah, because society would term it as wrong. A child rolling around on the grass.
Yeah. And then it's about me and what people are
Yeah,
saying about me.
what are they going to say when my child is doing this? What are they going to feel?
Yeah.
And sometimes sessions the child is so scared. You have to connect with the child and show the child, by you being your true authentic self, that's the only way they'll let you in into what they're experiencing. As a therapist, as a parent, as a caregiver, as a teacher, as anything. If you're not you, they can never be them.
Yeah.
And this is all, with COVID, we're talking about it. Once I find the mental issues going to arise, as an after effect, it's going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, I just saw some statistics that 2 out of 4 people are going through some sort of mental illness or, you know, stress, high level of stress and depression at this particular moment. That's like 50%.
Yeah.
And here, right here in Kenya, you know. So tell us, how does a session look like?
So firstly, the parent would call me and approach me, and then I would meet with the parent. But sometimes you have to realize that the parent can be doubting themselves. Say, I feel this is wrong because of this, yet they don't really understand where it's come from.
Yeah.
So explain to them and explain at times that I might need you to do this, prep them up. Don't shame a parent ever. Then once you all agreed, everything's agreed, the child comes, I meet with the child. The therapy session right now is just myself and the child. They can choose to play with the sand, any toys, art, aggressive play, puppets, dress up, scenarios, anyway.
Yeah.
And I have to follow the child's lead. I have to be present there, not to put my hands into toys, sit with them, not engage in it unless I'm invited to. Show them I'm present. It takes a couple of sessions depending on the child, this scenario, what this situation is feeling, and there's like a curve, they let you in.
Yeah.
Empowerment, like an onion peeling its skins. So different phases they've been through. They can be, let's say, I'm trying to think of the right example. Self-confidence.
Yeah.
Because self-confidence, because they've been abused. So you deal with the abuse, then you deal with the self-confidence. So until you know they're fully able to free flow, offload, learn, it's always just that's done. And then something else, they might come and see you for something else later.
Yeah.
But it all has to be in, like, the parents have to approve it. And as I said earlier, it's not about the final product.
Yeah.
It's not about how they did the best sand tray. It's not about how amazing their art is in the end. It's what process it took there.
The processes.
They may have drawn a person, yet in the garden with the sun, house, everything.
Yeah.
But the person got their eyes last
Hmm.
on the picture. Why? How?
Yeah.
The sun came out towards the end when the smile came up.
Hmm.
So to understand the
Yeah.
manner in which they got to the final product.
Yeah.
And the child can show the parent the picture and things like that, but of course you have to debrief and then tell the parent, because it's like a triangle. You and the child can't do it alone. In the end, they're going home, they're going to their caregivers. The parents even have to work at it. Now, if the parents have been hurting or being, like, let's say, a dad shouts at a child and that's what's traumatized the child.
Yeah.
Don't ever shame the dad. Help the dad heal with the child.
Yeah. So that happens like at the debrief is when you actually take the parents through what came out from the child.
Yeah. But you don't talk about it in front of the child. So let's say we can briefly, like, it's a meeting afterwards. What came out, this is what happened.
Yeah.
But you don't fully disclose. Now, let's say if you've got older children, and the child has a right to tell you what to show the parents and what not to show.
Yeah, because of course the child is the
older,
client.
yeah.
And there's confidentiality.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here more so, like, you just need to be cautious. Unless now it's endangering the child.
Yeah, like if the child is being abused and that comes out, then of course you have to do something as a therapist to protect the child.
Yeah.
What sort of emotional and mental outcomes have you seen as, you know, as we are closing the episode? Maybe someone is asking, so what comes out? Like, what's the outcome of this therapy? What do I expect? What level do I expect the child to be at once they're through this therapy?
So basically it's never solving the problem, because the problem could be because of someone else. But helping them learn to regulate through it, understand the outcome of it. Let's say next time they see something wrong happening, they don't go into their shell.
Yes.
They breathe, deep breaths. And not like shallow breaths, deep breaths from your gut up.
Yeah.
Breathe through it, okay. I'm okay. I'm here, I'm within me. So it's the understanding it's not your fault.
Yeah. So you're actually really empowering the child, so that whatever pot they are put into, they are able to get out without as much emotional damage as if they were not equipped. Right?
Yes. It's about making the child whole. We're born whole.
Yeah.
But then the external irregularities, people, environment, situations, start hurting and affecting us.
Yeah.
So we're born whole, and it's how to make the child whole. Be authentic, be attuned to themselves.
Yeah.
Be congruent with themselves.
Yeah.
Trust themselves. Self-care, self-love.
Yeah. Awesome. So how can people find you? I know somebody's thinking, I think I need to take my child for a therapy session.
I can share my details with you for you to post them up. They can call me, email me, and take it from them. I'm open, and then I normally work from home. Right now we're trying to do a lot of teleplay, which I find is sometimes really hard but the regulation attunement is always there from your side. If it's there, the child is even there, but to get it into a society or a place right now with the holidays just starting, who are probably so tired of Zoom. So let's see how it works. And we can make it work, so it's what's easier for the child and me, and what's practical.
Definitely.
So I'll share my email and number so you can
Yeah, we can share with
Yeah.
the viewer because
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of people who have been enlightened. I personally have learned so much. I think my takeaway is, you know, as a parent, I need to be attuned, self-regulated, and most importantly, to be authentic so that my child
Yes.
can have the same experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a parent, as anyone, authenticity.
Yeah. Awesome.
And be
Yeah.
true to yourself.
Be
Thank you
true.
so much.
Thank you so much. It was lovely having this conversation with you. I hope we'll have many more.
Yes.
And I hope you as a viewer will, you know, get in touch with us so we can share Ekta's contacts with you. Try out the therapy. Here at Being Me, we are talking about all the modalities, all the therapies that are available in this country that will help you secure your mental and emotional well-being. And, you know, keep it here. Let's learn as many therapies as possible, try out as many as possible until you find your fit. So let's see what comes up in the next episode. But before then, it's bye-bye. I've been your host, Carolyne Gaithuma.